I'm a little bit tired, you know. I wanna home.
You're going to rest now. There's already a tweet gone out from you saying, maybe I fight Moses Itauma as well. Is that true?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know because now I wanna think what next.
Right, that would, you know, garner him, you know, and get him the experience he needs to compete with a Usyk, right? But right now, it's just not the time. I just think it's just too early, okay?
It's just looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round, because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I've got a better skill set than him, but I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me, because I've never been in that sort of fight.
1. Oleksandr Usyk responded to Moses Itauma's bold challenge after his knockout win. Usyk acknowledged that the young heavyweight has serious skills, but made it clear he wants some rest before making his next move. He said he'll take time to carefully think about whether to accept Itauma's call-out or choose another opponent for his...
I am with him right now. He's speaking with Joseph Parker.
This time I wanna rest.
You want to rest?
Yeah, I wanna rest.
For holidays. See you, kid. Congratulations, champ. You were absolutely incredible tonight. Did you enjoy that performance?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Listen, I'm very happy. I train hard. 3.5 months. I not look my family, my children. Now I'm a little bit tired, you know. I wanna home.
You're going to rest now. There's already a tweet gone out from you saying, maybe I fight Moses Itauma as well. Is that true?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know because now I wanna think what next. What next? Who my next opponent? Because now I have time and think about my career and the next fight.
You're loved in Ukraine, but I really do think you are loved by us here as well, and it showed tonight.
Thank you so much. I love UK people because it's a special fans, you know.
And you know, the final thing, people are now going to start talking about you as one of the greatest of all time. Does that mean something to you, to be one of the very greatest fighters and heavyweights of all time?
Thank you so much, bro.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor jumped on Twitter saying, White took a __ dive. No way that kid beats Usyk. His comments stirred up heated debate, with many fans questioning if Moses Itauma's win over Dillian Whyte was as convincing as it looked. Taylor's words showed doubt about Itauma being ready for someone as polished as Usyk. In boxing, generational matchups always spark interest. Turkey Alashik has already pointed to a Usyk versus Itauma showdown as the ultimate clash of eras, an experienced lion against a hungry young one. Usyk stands for years of championship experience and skill, while Itauma brings raw power, determination, and youthful ambition. Fans love the story because it asks the age-old question: can the energy of youth topple the wisdom of a master?
Turkey Alashik is demanding the Moses Itauma versus Oleksandr Usyk fight. That's the fight that he would like to make happen, as you guys just read in the caption. And let me counterpunch. I mean, that sounds good. You know, I think that Turkey is looking for someone to beat Usyk. And Moses' name is just the next name up, especially in his own personal interest. It's not Joseph Parker. I don't know what's the deal with Parker. I don't know why he doesn't like Parker. I mean, Parker to me is more like a Jon Snow, because I mean, he gets in battles and he gets scrapes and bleeds and abrasions and battle scars, but he ends up victorious at the end of the day, right? So that's what Joseph Parker reminds me of. But I think that it should be in order. It should be in order to fight. I don't think that a guy with 13 fights is or should be awarded that type of fight. Now, if the fight happened, it would be pretty good. Southpaw versus Southpaw, old lion versus, young lion. And I know Moses would jump on the opportunity of getting it, and he may get it. Depends on how bad does Turkey want it, because if Turkey really wants this fight, if he really wanted that fight, he's going to offer enough money for Usyk to go in there, because I think it's about Usyk, not Moses. You know what I mean? And also, something else you have to factor in is it's not all about what Turkey wants. It's also, and it should be, about what the sanctioning bodies demand.
Moses Itauma has been outspoken about his belief that he's better than Usyk. That bold claim has fueled major discussion. Since Usyk is widely seen as one of the most complete boxers of this era, known for his movement, precise combinations, and ability to adjust to any opponent, Usyk has proven himself over and over. But at just 20 years old, Itauma insists his mix of speed, power, and calmness can beat even a world champion. Some dismiss his talk as arrogance, while others see it as the fearless voice of a new generation, unwilling.
You must have a view of what level you're at now.
If you want my honest opinion, I think
I do.
If my skill set, if you're talking about my ring IQ and what I display in the ring, I feel like I am the best in the world, but I haven't displayed the later rounds. That's all what I kind of want to get ticked off. So my next opponent or opponents this year, we're just looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round, because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I got a better skill set than him, but I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me, because I've never been in that sort of fight.
Plenty of boxing experts have raised concerns about matching Moses Itauma with Usyk too soon. Their argument is simple: Usyk is a master technician who has seen every style the sport offers. He's defeated some of the best heavyweights in the world and has a fight IQ that few can match.
Itauma can fight and beat the likes of Oleksandr Usyk, which everybody, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, is stating that he would love to make a fight with Usyk and Moses Itauma. That's the fight to be made. Me personally, I think it's too early in his career. At 20 years old, Usyk knows all the tricks of the trade. Usyk is very athletic. Okay, he's a southpaw. He's slick. He knows how to buy time. He knows how to control distance and range. He has an extremely high ring IQ. I think that's a step too far for Moses Itauma right now, right? But this is what Turkey want to see, and obviously Moses has a puncher's chance. Okay, he has a puncher's chance to land a big punch on Oleksandr Usyk, he's bigger than him. Usyk is 6'3" with a 78-inch arm reach. So Moses is bigger than him, right? And he obviously has a puncher's chance.
Analysts point out that Moses's biggest victory came against Dillian Whyte, who was inactive and far past his prime. While the win was eye-catching, critics argue it's not enough to justify jumping straight into the ring with a generational talent like Usyk. They suggest Moses should build his resume by facing younger, active contenders, fighters like Joseph Parker or others at his level, before taking the ultimate.
Oleksandr Usyk, he's bigger than him. Usyk is 6'3" with a 78-inch arm reach. So Moses is bigger than him, right? And he obviously has a puncher's chance. But with that said, I just think that, that's a step too far. There's other names that I could see Moses Itauma fight. Fight the likes of Joseph Parker, right? Big Zhang, okay? There's names out there that he can fight, right? That would, garner him, and get him the experience he needs to compete with a Usyk, right? But right now is just not the time. I just think it's just too early, okay? I think that, we need to allow this young man to grow, right? And then, we talk about Usyk. The problem is Usyk is 39, 40 years of age.
Trainer Ben Davison sees things differently, calling the fight a unique opportunity for both men. He believes the matchup is special because Usyk has never faced someone quite like Moses, and the same is true in reverse. While Usyk brings years of experience, he hasn't been tested against a young heavyweight with Moses's particular mix of speed, strength, and fearlessness. Davison says the fight wouldn't just test Moses, but could also push Usyk into uncomfortable territory. Every champion eventually runs into a new challenge, And Moses could be the one who forces Usyk to adjust.
I'm sure you would have seen the Ring magazine. They've put out a tweet tonight or an Instagram post saying that they've been informed that Turkey wants to see Usyk and Moses next. What do you think about that?
Let's see. You know, he's just had a big fight. I think, you know.
Is he ready for that in your opinion? Just your opinion. Is he ready for
I think it's one of them fights where it's a win-win. The experience he'd gain from it, the opportunity to really, you know, if Usyk was to box Dillian Whyte, people wouldn't say it would be a one-round job before tonight had happened. And I think, yeah, what he'd learn from it, the opportunity. And as much as Moses hasn't been in there with somebody like Usyk hasn't been in there with someone like Moses either.
Derek Chisora has been brutally honest, warning Moses Itauma against chasing Usyk right now. Chisora feels Moses is still too young and shouldn't be targeting older, inactive fighters just for attention. With his own long career against top names, Chisora knows the risks of stepping up too early. He argues that Moses should focus on facing active contenders around his level instead. Beating fighters who are past their prime might draw headlines, but it doesn't give the experience needed to build lasting success.
Interview is going to go out after the fight. So let's say Dillian does get the win. Who do you want to see him with next?
Don't know. If Dillian wins it, I'll be taking out.
And what about Moses? What next for him? Is it Oleksandr Usyk?
Huh?
If Moses gets the win, what next? Is it Oleksandr Usyk or is that too soon?
To leave Usyk alone. Usyk's a beast, man. Different beast. Different beast.
Derek, what next for you? When are we going to see you next in the ring?
Right now, I'm going to go sit down on the ringside and enjoy the fight.
Joseph Parker has taken a more measured stance on the matchup. He says a Usyk versus Moses fight is possible, but everything comes down to Usyk's decision. As a proven champion and veteran, Usyk has earned the right to choose when and who he fights next. Parker adds that if Usyk agrees to the challenge, then talks will naturally take place. But he's not pushing for it, stressing that timing and circumstances must be right for both sides.
I am with Joseph Parker. Yeah, what did you make of that, Joseph?
Explosive and quick. Faster than a lot of people thought. We thought it was going to be 3-4 rounds, and if it gets past that, it'll be a bit harder fight. But you know, one round, every fighter wants to come out and be explosive and knock out their opponent and go home and chill.
It's silly of me to say, do you want Moses next? Because really, you want Oleksandr Usyk, don't you?
Yeah, I want Usyk next. I know Usyk's deserves his time to relax and chill with his family. When he's ready, I'd love to open up negotiations and see if we can make the fight happen.
Does that extension clause with the sanctioning body give you more hope that it may well happen?
You just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. There's an extension to buy more time to an injury, and hopefully, you know, when he does decide to come back, then we can negotiate, and if we can make it happen, it'll be awesome.
Listen, we love you, and you're all about you, and we want you to be a world champion again, and I think you will be. But just say a final word on what we've witnessed tonight in the 20-year-olds who may be the coming force eventually.
Listen, he did a tremendous job. I'm just watching it now. I don't really see it properly, but he, power.
Promoter Frank Warren also gave his view, saying he's excited by the idea of Usyk versus Moses, but doesn't want to rush things. Warren admits the fight is appealing, especially with Turkey Al-Usyk, who has played a huge role in hosting major shows in Saudi Arabia, expressing interest. Still, he makes it clear that nothing is locked in yet. Both camps and event organizers would need to agree. Warren stresses that while fans are eager, the fight must happen at the right moment and under the best conditions.
An exclusive for you is that the WBO about a month ago put out that Joe Parker, who's their interim champion, has to challenge against Usyk, and Usyk has to defend against him. He's put a letter into yesterday stating, so I found out today, stating that he's asked him for an extension period because he's injured before being ordered to do anything. But whatever happens, the fact of life is that Joe Parker will either fight as champion if Usyk vacates the title, or he will fight Usyk for the title. So it's exciting times. If Moses were to win, or even if Dillian wins, whoever wins that fight, they're in the one spot. And if the fight doesn't happen with Usyk and Joe, then Joe will have to fight the official #1 contender.
Gosh, so that should be really fascinating, shouldn't it? But thank you for that little bit of exclusive there. And so are you just telling us there in that exclusive that Usyk's got an injury at the moment then? That's what he's coping with at the moment?
His camp have written to asked him for a period of time to before they have to defend the title.
Eddie Hearn praised Moses Itauma's performance, but also showed some respect for Dillian Whyte, who suffered a surprising knockout. Hearn pointed out that Whyte at least made good money from the fight, though the loss shocked many. For Moses, the victory changed his career overnight, but Hearn warns it should be treated as a step forward. Not a free pass to jump into a huge
Tonight, you don't seem as impressed or sad?
No, of course impressed. Very impressed, but it's just a bit sad for Dillian. Like, he shouldn't really have been in there, if I'm honest, but what? You know that. You know that.
Lee, what you've got to say?
That's not what I said first. No. No.
Special kid,
Yeah, of
Moses.
course he is, but I don't think, like, that was the worst matchup for him with no activity, and I felt like that was always going to happen.
Dillian Whyte's great. That would have looked similar to that stylistic.
He's brilliant. But I found it, knowing Dillian and everything, at 38 years old, I found it quite hard to watch.
I just have to ask, whilst he's there, the Warrington fight, are we going to see that next?
Yeah, we love the fight. You know, I mean, the problem is with Lee Wood, fuck me, I gave him some money. Jesus Christ. And now, obviously, every fight has its value, I always say. And that's a big value fight. It's a great fight for both. Listen, it's the final roll of the dice for both. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'll be interested to see how it plays out. We're definitely interested in making it happen.
TalkSport analysts had a lively back and forth about Moses Itauma's future. While they agree a Usyk fight would be massive, they argue it might be smarter for Moses to first test himself against Joseph Parker or other leading heavyweights. They believe that while his win over Dillian Whyte was solid, it's not enough proof that he's ready for a legend.
We go with him now. It wouldn't surprise me if they put him in a world title fight in 2 fights' time.
Yeah, well, we're going to see what Oleksandr Usyk's been given this extension with the WBO title. Joseph Parker obviously is the interim champion. Parker may take another route. He's very well ranked in the WBC as well. You don't know, of all these moving parts. And like you say, the main man, Turki Al-Sheikh, the guy that puts the money up, he will decide what he wants to do there. But if that WBO title becomes vacant, don't be surprised that you do not see Joseph Parker fighting for that title, but you see a vacant title going in with Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic. That's the fight I could see for the vacant title.
For all the patience that Moses showed tonight, for all the precision he showed to put Dillian Whyte away, we still don't know what's going to happen when he's in the trenches, do we?
It's always the case, isn't it? You know, whenever you get a fantastic young talent coming through. I remember they said it's about Naz all those years
And Bruno.
Bruno, you know, the list goes on. It's a long one. And there will be somebody somewhere who can take the shots and who will put it on him. And then the questions will be asked, and it's whether or not he's got the answers. There'll be people out there. Somebody will do it.
Despite all the debate, one thing stands out. Moses Itauma has already proven he's a serious talent for his age. His win over Dillian Whyte wasn't just about the knockout, but about how he fought. His speed, composure, and ability to take advantage of the moment showed he's one of the brightest young names in boxing today. At just 20 years old, Moses has created major buzz, with fans and experts praising his natural talent and self-belief. Whether he fights Usyk next or takes a slower road, Moses Itauma has already shown he's a rising force in the heavyweight
in the world. Oh my goodness. I mean, let's be honest, we all expected Moses to win, but not in 2 minutes. The man annihilated Dillian Whyte in 2 minutes, and the man, I mean, listen. Let me give you the truth about Moses Itauma. This is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Speed kills. And Moses Itauma is one of the fastest heavyweights I have ever seen in my life. Is he faster than Mike Tyson? Of course not. But for this generation and this era, he is the fastest and youngest heavyweight that we have in our generation. Now Moses Itauma, oh my God, southpaw, deadly puncher, lightning quick, intelligent, smart, cerebral at just 20 years old, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy. And even if you think about it, the man has been dangerous I mean, he just knocked out Dillian Whyte a few minutes ago.